Hi everybody, welcome to the show floor of the 2014 Los Angeles Auto Show. I'm Tim Stevens.
I'm Antoine Goodwin.
And I'm Wayne Cunningham.
And we are going to give you a quick walkthrough of some of the highlights of the show, some trends, fuel cell cars, quite a few on the show floor. And I just got out of the Volkswagen Passat fuel cell. Wayne, I know that you just drove the Audi fuel cell and a Toyota as well, right?
Right, I've actually driven two fuel cell vehicles at this show, which is kind of surprising. One was the Toyota Mirai, which will come out next year as a production vehicle, and the Audi A7, a development vehicle with fuel cells and batteries, electric drive. And I think one of the big advantages of the fuel cells is they get much more range than most electric cars. They're talking 300 miles, above 300 mile range, as opposed to a typical electric car, which has about 100 miles of range.
And cost is still quite a bit better than a gasoline-powered car. You can imagine 1 kilogram of hydrogen roughly the same as 1 gallon of gas in terms of energy, but only about $2 per kilogram of hydrogen versus, $3.80, $4 for a gallon of gas. So in theory, it could be much less expensive than driving a gas car, but obviously, it's hard to find hydrogen stations at this point. There's only 12 in all of Germany, and I don't think there are that much more here in the U.S., unfortunately.
Yeah, 9 in California, almost 50 in development from what I've heard, but we'll see when those come online.
Still a long ways to go, but it's interesting that Toyota is actually going to put the thing into production, so that should help, hopefully. And then compact SUVs, quite a few of those around too.
Yeah, most definitely. We've been seeing that sort of trend expand over the last, actually, maybe year or so. Mercedes dropped its GLA. Of course, the Nissan Juke's always kind of been in that space, but at this show we saw the launch, the North American launch of the production Honda HR-V, and also Mazda launched its new CX-3. It's a small, compact, kind of fits between the Mazda 3 and the Mazda 2. It is a good-looking car. It's going to have the 2-liter engine that we saw in the Mazda 3. We also saw that in the CX-5. We thought it was a little gutless in that car, but with the CX-3 being smaller, we're thinking the power-to-weight ratio is going to be a little bit better.
Yeah, it's great to see so many smaller crossovers, costs coming down a little bit. And the styling, I think, is getting a lot better on those cars, too. They were kind of, in my opinion, in general, the crossovers just didn't really seem like they had a home. But now they're starting to get a little bit more personality, I think, which is good.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see the sort of crossover market beginning to shrink and get closer and closer to that wagon market. We also saw Scion is launching the Scion IM, which is basically the Toyota RSA wagon that's been available in the European market for about 4 or 5 years. So I'm thinking the compact crossover market's going to eventually shrink down, and we'll see the wagon market come back, and then people will get tired of wagons, and it'll blow right back up in about 10 years.
Speaking of wagons, Volkswagen had the R variant, 300 horsepower, 5-door wagon. Looks pretty nice. I'd buy one, maybe. And no plans on bringing to the U.S., though, unfortunately, spring in Europe. Any other big trends we should cover here at the show?
There's some interesting luxury things going on. I saw the Bentley Grand convertible, which sort of heralds a new convertible, not sedan really, it's still a 2-door, but it's a big car. It's based on the Mulsanne, which is their big luxury sedan. And I guess you saw the Mercedes Maybach.
Yeah, the Mercedes Maybach S600, they're bringing the Maybach name back. The Maybach 62 and the 57 are now dearly departed. Those cars started at $350,000 and went way up. We don't know the exact price of the 600 Maybach, but it'll be somewhere in the $200,000 range to start. So a lot less expensive, but still a little bit higher than my pay grade. But yeah, a lovely car, big, amazing seats in the back. I did get a chance to sit back there. They recline fully, power everything, of course. There's a desk that pops up, and if you buy one, you get 2 matching champagne glasses with the Maybach logo on there, which is something that the discerning buyer will, of course, demand. So that's a good sign. The economy's back. Recession's over. Auto sales are up. Hooray for us, right?
Hooray for money.
Hooray for money, indeed. All right, let's run down and pick our top favorite cars of the show. Wayne, I know you're having some indecision issues before we started rolling. Have you made up your mind? What would be the car of the show for you, sir?
Yeah, I saw a vintage 1964 Toyota 2000 GT, which is just a beautiful car from the past. Anyway, I can't have that car because it's not a production car.
And very expensive.
Neither can I have the Audi Prologue, which is a concept car, a very beautiful take on the new direction that they're going to do with their A6, A7, and A8 models. What I would have to settle on was the BMW X5M, which, if it's anything like the previous generation, is just going to handle fantastically and have just a massive amount of power in a traditional SUV body style, which is, it's just crazy that this car can handle so well and be so big.
I'm going to have to go with the Lexus LF C2 concept. Now, it's a concept car, so I can't have it now, but if I wait about a year, I'm pretty sure Lexus is going to bring it to the market as some sort of an ISC replacement or maybe an RC convertible. They're practically the same car with just a different number of doors. So I'm just hoping that they'll have a convertible F variant that has that V8 engine.
And you were just driving around the RC not that long ago, so I guess that means you like what you saw.
Lots to look forward to there.
Sweet. For me, I'm going to go somewhat predictably for the new Ford Mustang Shelby GT350, the first of what will be zillions of special edition Mustangs, I imagine. They didn't give us a full performance figure, but over 500 horsepower from a new V8. This is going to be high revving, so different than V8s we've seen in the past. It's a very track-friendly car, supposedly taking on the Camaro Z28, of course. Didn't tell us what it's going to cost, but the Z28's, I think, in the 70-ish range, so I would imagine probably somewhere south of there, maybe a little bit. But real high-performance car, something like the Boss 302 that is departed. Real nice car. Coming out next spring, and I'll be keeping my eye on that one. I guess we'll wrap things up here in Los Angeles. It's been a great show. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. Lots more on CNET.com if you haven't seen it already. And as for us, we'll be at CES, and then the big Nexon show will be in Detroit in early January 2015. It's going to be cold, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in Detroit.